What is it like being a Jamaican in Cyprus? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, founder of Jamaicans.com, and today in Jamaicans to the World, I talk to Delroy Budraham, a Jamaican living in Cyprus. Hi, Delroy, how are you?
Hello, Xavier. I am good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on your show. And yeah, it's great, man. It's great.
Awesome, awesome. So let's start out. Which part of Jamaica you're from?
Originally, Kingston. Come from what people will call Waterhouse. That's where my neck of the woods were. And
Okay,
yeah, I am proud to be a son of that side of the world.
all right. Is there a school that you want to big up, represent, whichever school it is?
All right, cool. There's two schools. So my primary school, which is in Waterhouse, Balmaji, was sort of the tone setter for my future. From there, I ended up at Norman Manley High, and yeah, it set my
Go on.
my life in motion.
Is there a teacher that you remember from either of these schools that influenced your life a lot and you still remember them today?
Yes, I do. Well, for Balmaji, it would have been my principal, Miss. I hope I pronounced her name correctly, Miss Bartilo. Miss Bartilo was to me at the time a giant. She literally looked like Foxy Brown out of the movie. She was tall. She had a massive afro, and she drove a '68 um, Mustang. Oh my gosh. When you could know this woman was coming because you could hear that V8 from down the road, like a half a mile away, you could hear that V8 purring. Never
Um,
forget that. She was an amazing principal. And my
awesome.
next would, for Norman Manley would be my form teacher and vice principal, and Miss Olivia McNeil. Um, she was the person that she was the coolest person you'd ever meet. But at the same time, that this like her strictness, she didn't have to raise her voice. Her aura sort of like would say everything to you. You didn't have to hear her raise her voice. She just
Awesome.
emits that sort of vibe, and okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I got it, I got it, I got
Well,
it. Yeah.
hopefully somebody can convey this message to those teachers, vice principal, and principal, if they're
Oh
still
man,
still around.
it's still around
That
with us.
that
Yes,
Delroy, they made an imprint on Delroy's life.
yes, for sure, definitely
So
for sure.
tell us the story of how you got to living in Cyprus.
Listen, if I had a dollar, well, 50 cents every time somebody asked me that story, I'd be a millionaire by now. But there's no easy way to get to this, to get to this point. Summing it up, it was pretty much because of my wife. So while because I've been always been traveling, my sort of life and career has always been about traveling. I'm originally a chef. I started on the cruise ship, pretty young age. I've done a few years on the cruise ship. I was in
Which
the
cruise
States.
ship? Which cruise
I
ship?
did Costa Cruise Line.
Okay.
When Costa Cruise Line came out with their first two mega ships, which would be the Costa Classica and the Costa Romantica, which were like twins.
Right.
And those were the starting point for their mega impact in the shipping
Cruise
world until they,
industry. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just
So yeah,
curious. That's right. So I'm sorry I interrupted.
yeah, no,
So
no, 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 it's fine,
continue.
it's fine. Yeah, so started out with those and did pretty much a lot of the world on them,
Okay.
and yeah, I did. Then I moved back to Jamaica, did some sandals. I did few super clubs, Enchanted Gardens. I did quite a few of the hotels in Jamaica, including hotels that don't exist anymore. Because my apprenticeship started out in what used to be only few people will know this, Oceana Hotel, downtown Kingston, down
Yes.
on the waterfront. Yes,
Yes.
that's where my apprenticeship started. So, I have good roots in the hotel industry. But yeah,
So then you met. So you're saying you got there now. I think you're telling us the wife. You met the wife, and that's how you
yeah,
ended
yeah,
in
but that
Cyprus.
see, actually, I went back to come forward. No, no, no. So I went to UK where I met my wife in the UK back in the 90s after I left Sandals. Well, early 2000s when I left Sandals, and from there, I met her. We moved to Dubai because her father was a pilot working for Emirates at the time, and later on Fly Dubai. So we
Okay.
moved to Dubai. I started in a catering industry there. That was short lived because I got a job working for an airline, which I never ever in my entire life thought would happen. So I was a chef on an airline called Gulf Air, which was in Bahrain, which was like an hour flight from Dubai. So I spent a few years, like 3 years there. Then I came back to Dubai, working with Fly Dubai, and then I went back to Gulf Air. And then just before, yeah, just before COVID, you get that, that tingling. Oh, it's time to go. It's time to go. And I was like, where are we gonna go? At that point, her father had moved back, left Emirates, and had moved back to Ryanair because he started out with Ryanair a long time ago. He had moved back to around here just to finish up his career. And so they placed him in Cyprus, and we were coming here on holiday. So my wife was like, well, why don't we go to Cyprus? I was like, no, let's go to Australia. No, let's go to Cyprus. Here we are.
Wow, wow, quite a
Yeah.
story. So in terms of, I know you're a chef. Are you still a chef?
Well, I will always be a chef. I will always be a chef. But in Cyprus, it's it's a lovely place. It sort of reminds me of Jamaica a lot
Right.
in a lot of ways, but different in a lot of ways. And it has the struggles of Jamaica in a lot of ways. Where
Okay.
in Jamaica it's different in this way. If you're a foreigner, you come in and you have knowledge in a specific product, whether it's a chef or any other industry, we will fit you in, and we sometimes leave out our own people to fit you in because we see that you will make to us you make an impact more than our local guy, and I've had that in hotels, and I know what that's like. So yeah, here in Cyprus it's not the same, it's the opposite way. It doesn't matter what you bring to the table, they will put their own people in over your ability. Which, in
I hear you.
fairness, it's their country. It's their country. They're
Right.
looking out for their countrymen, and I
Right.
understand
Right.
that. But
Right.
sometimes it's sort of a pushback for somebody,
You're
that has a
trying to do
ability and
something.
potential. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
tell us.
that's the core. Yeah. But
So
when we came to Cyprus, the whole idea was we're going to set up a restaurant. I'm going to start a Jamaican restaurant with British influence because I have that sort of background. And so it was the right time. So, take the little nest egg from the airline. Yeah, ready. Set up, sort of set up everything, got all things in place. And then COVID came, bang.
oh my gosh.
And yeah, it just killed everything. But,
well,
if you
well,
have life,
keep the dream alive. Whenever I
never,
get
never,
to
never lose
Cyprus,
the dream.
I
Never
wanna
lose the
come to
dream.
your Jamaican restaurant in the
Of course,
future.
man, for
So
sure, for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
keep it alive.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the people in Cyprus. What are they like?
Okay. So the people in Cyprus, depends on where you live. You can, and I think this is everywhere in the world. If you are different, if you're new, you don't speak the general local dialogue, you have sort of, I won't say issues, but you have sort of setbacks. And Cyprus is no different. In the bigger, like I live in Paphos, and so it's sort of is surrounded by a lot of expats, so a lot of British, Russians, and Europeans. So you find that. communication is not a problem. When you start going out a little bit into the villages, that's a bit outside of the town, then you have problems because they speak Greek or Cypriot Greek, not Greek. And
Okay,
when you go there and you communicate with them, even sometimes they do speak a bit of English. They don't want to speak to you in English. They speak in the local language, and it's sort of like put up defense, you know.
I see.
But
I
in
see.
general, yeah, in general, they're nice people. And once you get to
Okay,
know them and they get to know you, then it becomes different, you know. I mean,
right.
I at times I will sit in a what they call here coffee shop. I'll sit in a coffee shop with basic language ability in their language, and their English is exactly the same. It's black pepper in salt kind of thing. And we'll sit and we'll have their local drink, which is called Zinfania. It's made from grape wine. I tell you what,
We're going
Jamaican
to touch on
Jankrabati has
food.
nothing on this.
We're going to touch on food in a minute. A minute. We're coming to food in a minute.
All right, cool. Yeah, so but yeah, in general, they're lovely people. They're lovely people.
Let me ask you two kind of related questions. When you say you're Jamaican, what do the folks typically ask you, or what do they typically say?
You know what? For the people that knows Jamaica, know where we're located, and you go like, "Hey, I'm Jamaican," they go like, "So what the hell are you doing here?" Because in everybody's eyes, whether it's European or whether it's the local people, when you say Jamaica, everybody think, "Oh, paradise." Or land of not wanting anything. It's all there. Beautiful beaches, beautiful people, beautiful food, beautiful everything. Why are you here? And then you give them the cold hard facts. Same reason why you're here. Trying to make that extra buck.
So, kind of related, you mentioned that there is, I think you said Cyprus Greek. You said there's Greek. People
Yes.
speak Greek and they speak
Yeah.
Cyprus Greek. Was that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes. There is. See, the history of Cyprus. If you would go back into it, just go back, just up to the Ottoman Empire. Cyprus was a part of the Ottoman Empire, so it was controlled by the Turkish. So you have now Cyprus is split into two because there was a coup. Well, Turkey tried to repossess Cyprus. They've got pretty much half of the island back in '74. So you have now a hard border. Well, it's not a hard borderline as yet, but it's a borderline that you have to go through passport control. So you've got the Turkish side on the north, and then you got the Greek side on which we are. So you got the Turkish people. They speak pretty much Turkish Cypriot, um, and on
Okay,
this side it's yeah
so,
Greek
so
Cypriot, but
uh
their Greek is totally different from Greece Greek in a lot of ways. It's like Spanish.
uh
You got mainland Spanish, and then you got South American Spanish, sort of
okay,
like that.
okay, but they
Yeah,
understand each other, or there's more,
yeah,
or is it so
fair
far
enough.
off?
Yeah, up to certain point, they do understand each other. Yeah,
All right. Now, you mentioned the north side, which the north, the Turkish
yeah,
side,
the
and then the
surface.
south
Yeah,
side. Um,
yeah.
the Mediterranean is you're right there in the Mediterranean, and so you must have some very nice beaches,
Ah,
or not
that's a
really.
disappointment right there. That's disappointing. You know what? It should, it should, but to be honest, a lot of the good beaches are on the Turkish side.
Ah,
Yeah, a lot of the beaches around there more like pebbly beaches rather than nice sandy. It's you can't come. This is where Jamaica sort of like blow it out of the water. Anywhere in Jamaica you go and go on any beach, you're gonna be comfortable. It's gonna be nice. You got the waters are nice. The sand is beautiful. You can just walk all day on it and stuff. Here, you tend to like, oh yeah, okay, I'll go in the water and come out quickly because I don't want to get. my foot damage on rocks, or I bruise my foot bottom pon the stone them.
All right. So traveling between both sides, is it difficult? Have you been to the north side?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been to the north a few times. No, it's not difficult at all, because they have this thing that, based on which country, they have countries that it's just banned, totally banned altogether. But for a Jamaican, I have my residency here, so I just turn up with my passport, my ID card, and I have 90 days. That, like any country you go to, you have 90 days that you can stay. But you book your
Okay.
hotel, you show them, yeah, I'm staying here, and it's fine, no problem, no
So
problem.
what on the north side? What is popular on the north side, and why would someone from the south side, kind of say, okay, I'm headed over to the north side?
Well, first thing is cost. Say petrol. People say gas for the
Right.
car.
Right.
On this side, it's mandated all by Europe, so it's European price. On the other side, it's mandated by Turkey, so it's Turkish price. And at one point, there was a big thing where people were just going across with their bottles and just filling up and coming across. And so, like, the government put up this thing. Okay, if you go over, no problem, get what you want. But when you come over and reach at the immigration checkpoint, we're gonna charge you because you're spending your money on with the enemies. Because that's how they see it. You're spending your money with the enemy. So we're gonna put tariff on when you come over. So people just like, okay, it's not worth it. I'll fill my car up on the way over, and when I'm coming back, and that will keep me for a week or so. So it'll
Okay.
keep the cost down. And the next thing is sort of the people. Customer service
Okay.
is what's a big thing that's on that side, kind of like Jamaica, where we put out our best foot for customers, because we know it's important. On this side, with the Turkish Cypriot, it's just like, you don't want it, the door is there, my friend. Go somewhere else. They don't really care, so they don't put out any foot for customer service. It's either you're having it or you're not having it. Somebody else
No,
will have it.
no, 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 and then not throw a stone at me. But the customer service in Jamaica is really in the tourist industry.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Because if you go down to Mr. Chin shop, Mr. Chin say, "At this price, you don't want it. The door is
so,
there."
so they say, if they're not treat you bad in a restaurant, the food not good.
Yeah, but yeah,
so those are the reasons I guess folks travel across. I don't know if there's like an attraction on that side that you said the beaches there are better.
yeah.
In your
The beach
opinion.
is better. Yeah, yeah. In my opinion, the food obviously also is a bit different,
Okay.
because there's the Turkish influence, and if you have been sort of in the Middle East, then you know Turkish food has sort of a high. Um, People put a lot of oomph on it.
Okay. Let, let
They,
me let,
you
let
know,
me summarize it. It sounds like the Turkish food seasoned and other places not that seasoned.
well, the Turks does have the Arabic influence, and the Arabs do cook with spices because they're also influenced by the Indians, which we all know cook with a lot of spices. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, there's a difference with things. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
difference within the culinary flavors.
So perfect segue into the other question I had. So if I was to travel to Cyprus, and you said, Xavier, you have to try these three dishes. What would those three dishes, and it could be two or it could be a drink in there. It said, try this, this, this. What would you recommend?
Okay, so here they have what's called souvlaki. Souvlaki is pretty much what you other people would call meat and skewers, and it's grilled. You have the pork, you have the chicken, and those are like the two main ones, the pork and the chicken. It comes in a pita bread. So pita bread is a very soft, like
I know the
so
bread, flat, kind of flat,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
a flat bread, yeah,
Yeah,
but it can be oh, it can be pocketed.
right.
So it's nice and warm, pocketed with vegetables, so that they do like lettuce with tomatoes and cucumbers and some cabbage with your meat inside of it, and it's like that big, yeah, that big, yeah, and with lots of chips. So that's like a crowd favorite when you go out. The
Okay.
next one is their goat. So no, they don't do goat like Jamaicans. They boil the goat, and but it just falls off the bone. Seriously, it falls off the bone. It
Wow.
in presentation wise, it might not look a lot, but in taste and flavor wise, it's really really tasty. It's
Nice.
something that you go like, yeah, I'll have another plate of that, please. So those are two of their main dishes that I would recommend anybody that comes here try these.
Okay.
You will
All
like
right.
you will like it. Yeah.
And you were
You
talking
know?
about the drink now. Maybe you want to add that
Okay,
drink you
yes, yes.
mentioned
So
earlier.
yes. So when you come here, if you're like a true Jamaican that you love your strong shot, then I suggest that you go for some Zinvania. No, you got if you go to the monasteries, you can get flavored Zinvania. You get your alcohol, and it's some of the best alcohol you'll get from the monasteries. You go for the monks and the nuns, and you get the best alcohol. Oh, bless.
It
But yeah,
sounds like a cleansing.
the Zinvania, you get it everywhere. It's like you got what they call the village Zinvania, which is like Jamaican Jankrabati rum that it's round the corner, it's round the corner kind of thing. It's not from the shelf bottles. Yeah, you get those. And yeah, you can start, it's like vodka. You put it in the freezer and it never freezes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you put it in the freezer. I've got two bottles in the freezer for the last 2, 3 years. And yeah, whenever I feel like I'm going to get a cold or a sick, I take a shot. And
It
it
knock it
knocks
out.
it back. Yeah,
So
so
no, go
So
ahead.
if
You
you
finish.
so if you try it, just have maybe one or two and to see how it reacts with you, because
Okay.
it will knock you down if you're not used to it.
You take a sip of that and you woozy and boom, you're gone.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It literally can do that to you if you're not used to it.
Wow. So where do
Yeah.
you, I know you're a chef, but ingredients are important. Where do you get your Jamaican fix, or do you brought your ingredients, you're gonna set up a restaurant, so maybe where you get your Jamaican.
Cyprus is considered a part of Europe. It's very difficult to get a lot of Jamaican products here. And so like you get the basic, you get some thyme, you get your scallion, your onions, gingers, stuff like that. I grow my own chili in the backyard. I have like 10 varieties of chili that I grow, including Scotch bonnet that I brought seeds from the Middle East that came from Kenya.
Oh,
And yeah, so I have my fix on chilies I have for myself. I don't depend on them. I get pimentos here, so that's not a problem for the allspice bit of it. Everything else I have to sort of make my own.
okay.
So my own jerk seasoning, my own jerk sauce, which is good for me anyway because it promotes my cooking style, and it promotes Jamaica authentically, not from a bottle or anything else. So
Awesome. Awesome.
that's
So
it.
so have you cooked for your neighbors and cooked Jamaican food for your
Oh
neighbors?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
What they
Most
love?
people, I tell. I tell you, I actually was working briefly in a restaurant for some British people after COVID and our situation, our little thing went down the drain. I was working for some English people, and I was the most important thing on the on the menu for people was actually the Jamaican food. There was always something that people just wanted to come and get. When are you doing the Jamaican night again? When are you doing jerk chicken again? When are we going to see some curry goat coming up again? So yeah, the Jamaican thing is actually well taken, especially within the British community. It's
Right.
well represented there. Yeah,
Okay. Climate wise, because you mentioned growing peppers in your backyard or around. Climate
yeah.
wise, is there other fruits that you're growing there? You're getting your mangoes? Are you getting, some of the fruits you recognize from Jamaica?
Okay. So climate-wise here, summer here is hot, like hot. Jamaica have nothing on this. This is Middle Eastern hot, and if you know Middle Eastern hot, you're talking high 40s, like Celsius wise, like
Right, right.
40, 43, 45 degrees, like piping hot. You don't want to be out in the sun. And then winter comes around and you get snow.
Wow.
So it goes from one extreme to the next. Yeah, you get snow. Wintertime tend to be rainy. Obviously, last couple of years there hasn't been any rain here. But like here where I live in Paphos, it doesn't. The temperature, okay, like at the moment it's like 18 degrees. It'll drop down to about 15, 16 degrees this evening, which is for Jamaica, that's cold. Most Jamaican will have
Of
on
course. Yes,
their
yes.
coat for this. But it's good enough for me to grow. I have a guava tree in the back garden and some offspring coming up now that I'm doing. I have bell peppers, obviously my chilies. I've got sweet potato growing in the back garden, and lemons and limes and oranges. Uh, and in between that, I have the local stuff. I've got olive trees and fig trees and pomegranate. We have lot. I have at least 8 pomegranate trees in the back
Okay.
garden.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yes, there is things that grow here. Also, some of the local farmers have taken on growing avocados. Well, pear, but
Right.
it's just
Right.
not the same as Jamaican pear, which disappoints me so much. It's just not the same. It's just like, oh, like my wife, she loves avocado, and whenever I tell her, no, 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 it's not avocado, it's pear.
Here.
And when you come to Jamaica and you get a pear, it'll forever change your mind and change your precepts of what avocado in your language should be. But this is pear.
um, any mangoes?
A few people try to grow mango. They don't have the knowledge of growing these plants. If bananas grow here, but it's not the kind of banana you're gonna run out and go buy. Just
All
say
right.
that.
All
Yeah.
right.
They come off the tree and they feel like carbine fruits.
All right. So I guess for the good fruit, they're imported there, and you will get them in the supermarket.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get fruits from overseas. So you get mangoes from like Brazil and
Okay.
India and places like that. Yeah,
All
but
right.
you miss the Jamaican taste, man, and flavor. You miss that. So yeah, yeah.
Well, not like a good mango in Jamaica. Mine is
Oh,
East
I tell
Indian.
you,
I
man.
don't know. I
Oh,
love my
I
East
tell you.
Indian. I don't know
Oh,
yours, but
either East Indian or a really ripe belly full.
so I want to switch up a little bit and talk about the place, in terms of if I was to visit. You said, Xavier, if you come any time of the year or whenever, you need to
Yeah,
visit this place. It may be a monastery, like you mentioned, or you
yeah,
may say there is an event. You need to come at this point in the year so that you can see this event, or you need to see the sunset on this hill or whatever. What would that be? What would that one thing be you would say to somebody that's a
yeah.
Jamaican, especially coming there?
Okay, Jamaican coming here. It's like, um, Cyprus is rich in history and culture. Jamaica also is rich in culture. And Jamaicans, we look out for something that stands out so much that will poke your eye out. And here they have, in the wintertime, up in what's called Mount Olympus, which is their highest point. Not as high as Blue Mountain, but it's their highest point. It snows up there in wintertime. And so you have Snowcap Mountain. You have all the different slides, ski slides, husky run carts and stuff. And it's something that for somebody that is not used to that kind of thing, it's a focal point. It's very transitive for you. So you go up
Okay,
and you're like, yeah. So
something different.
yeah, it's something different. Apart from that, it's you have I'm fishing here. I'm fishing here. You have the
Well, think of you. What you really were amazed by? Was it the monastery? Because it sounds like the monasteries
yeah,
are
no, the monasteries. The see, it's very it's hard to even like say this monastery or that monastery because most of the monasteries, yeah, I would say, listen, go on a monastery tour because the monasteries they're all out of the way. They're up in the mountains. You're welcomed when you go in. It's the artwork, the old from 13th century, 15th century work pieces that they have in um, that you go into the churches and you look up and the paintings, the statues, the architecturals, they're just like wow. And even to the point where you look at the seating that it used to, because all they make the seats was because obviously they're Orthodox here,
right.
but Orthodox also have the same sort of characteristics as Catholic. So you go into a Catholic church, and as soon as you sit in, you start going like this. Once they start, yeah. So it's the same. So they have these seating where like the seats are like that, and you sit and it's high, so it's uncomfortable, so you can't fall asleep. And if you do, the chair tips. If you do, the chair tips. You're gonna fall out, and they're gonna know you've been sleeping. So yeah,
It sounds
it's
very, very interesting. The monastery is so
it is. Yeah,
interesting.
the monasteries are a good focal point.
Okay,
Apart from
go ahead.
apart from that, they've got lots of like sort of safari run. So you get on these sort of 4x4 buggies or bikes and do like around what they call the Akatir area. So it's all overlooking the sea, but it's all rugged terrains and it's a good day out.
All right,
It's a good day out.
for the
Yeah.
adventurous, for the
For the
adventurous.
adventurous, yeah. Or do the boat tours. There's a few boat tours like Sunset, as you were saying.
Right.
Sunset cruise. When you buy it, it's all entertainment. Really big boats, all entertainment, DJs, lots of dance and music, buffet,
So
and then you watch.
you mentioned
Yeah,
music. You hearing the reggae music there in Cyprus?
we have. There's a few guys. They're called the Reggae Rockers, and they're sort of British Cypriots, but they've grown up in areas of the UK with a lot of Jamaican influence. So they do a lot of reggae music,
Oh
and
wow.
so yeah, they have their little thing going. One of the gentlemen is very sick at the moment, but yeah,
Mm.
There's a few other guys. There's a few Jamaican entertainers, British Jamaican entertainers that
Right.
they'll do a lot of R&Bs, but they do a lot of reggae in their setup as well. So these guys
Nice.
I know quite well. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, we still have a bit of Jamaican influence, and there's a couple of clubs that does Jamaican nights.
Nice.
They're
Nice.
trying, they're trying. Yeah, they're a little bit of reggae, so they're trying to think. But it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
It
it's the
keeps
culture. The
a
culture is
feeling of a
strong.
culture. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the culture strong.
yeah.
So listen, Delroy, thank you again for
My pleasure. My
sharing
pleasure.
sharing a little bit about your story and getting to Cyprus and about the culture, the food, and the people there. So here is a scenario for you. You leave Cyprus, you land in Jamaica, and you get out the airport. What is that first thing that you're either eating or going to do, or the place you're going to visit? Which one of them you do? What is it?
Okay. I tell you what, I have a routine that I used to do when I was living in the UK. Every time I go to Jamaica, when I come out of the plane and get into the car, there's a little stall just as you leave the airport and you're on that stretch going towards Trelawney. There's a guy that sells jerk chicken on the road. I stop right there. I have a nice combination of jerk chicken and jerk pork with a red stripe beer. And once I do that, I jump in the sea behind and take 20 minutes of washing off everything and getting Jamaica fresh again.
All right, so,
Yes.
so so guys, if you're visiting Delroy, he needs his special jerk chicken and jerk pork. If you come in there, freeze
Yes.
it and
Yes.
bring it for him with the red stripe. Although I think maybe you can get red stripe there, right? You might be able to.
No,
No.
unfortunately, no red stripe. I have to go to the UK to get my red stripe, man. No, it's one of those things. How can you not get red stripe in this day and age? You can't get red stripe.
You're going to have to fix it.
I have to fix it. I have a plan. I know that Elaine told you about a plan that
Yes,
I have.
yes,
I'm trying to
yes.
work on that. I'm trying to
All
work
right,
on that.
all right.
Yeah.
So here is how I typically end. How do you say goodbye and in an informal way there in Cyprus to each other? So you're gonna teach me
Okay.
in
So
the language that
yeah,
is.
yeah. I know. So basically, the Greek word is adio, which is goodbye, but most people will just say ciao.
Okay.
Yeah. Most people just ciao, or
All right.
it's like
Adio.
adio.
All right. Delroy,
So
thank you again.
my pleasure.
And
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm looking forward to hearing more, and I'm sure our viewers looking forward to hear more in a couple years when that dream is revived and there's a
For
Jamaican
sure,
restaurant
for
in
sure, for
in
sure.
Cyprus.
In Cyprus.
And as they say, adio.
Adio. Cheers, man.